All right, man, we're recording. What's up, Will?
All right, we're finally doing this.
All right, so we need some ground rules, though. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do ground rules.
My biggest one's this: if we're trashing somebody, we can't use their name. We have to give a code name because that person's not here to defend themselves, and there's there's legalities behind it.
Oh, so, I know. Okay.
So if we're trashing Rich from the Remedy band, we can't say sorry, Rich. We can't say Rich's name. We gotta
there's legalities.
We gotta be I don't know, like a code name. So that's my only thing.
That guy that's in the Dead Tribute and the Black Rose Tribute.
So, yeah. So we're telling a story about if I'm telling a story about my ex, girlfriend. Let's not use my ex girlfriend's name because that could be.
Yeah.
That could be trouble.
Yeah, we don't want that.
And just so people know, we are in the same room. I'm going to come over.
Ready? Yeah. Oh, there's no camera on you?
Yeah.
Oh, there is? Okay, there is. So we're in the same room.
I got my computer camera.
That's okay.
And you got this little camera.
Okay.
I'll figure out my tech. I had it set up.
I just got a Mac in July, so I'm still figuring out Zoom because I do a lot of Zoom. Actually, I'm going to start Zoom vocal lessons. Because me and my vocal coach broke up over a year ago. Never start a band with your music teacher.
I'll tell you a vocal story question. A vocal coach story. When I first started singing, years ago.
Okay.
I used to always get a sore throat if I would sing 2 nights back to back.
Yeah.
And I went to this guy who's actually a friend. I went to him a few times, and he's like, dude, just warm up in the car, and you'll be fine. And I warmed up in the car, and I was fine. I never went back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, are you warming up? I said, no. He's like, do you know vocal exercises? I said, not really. So he taught me, a couple. And then he was like, just sing in the car. Just sing lightly in the car. And, the other thing, I would sing on the way home, too, as, a warm down.
Oh, yeah, you got to
warm down. Not loud.
Yeah, you got to warm down.
I just feel just little.
You have to warm down. That's a big. That's a big deal. I never knew a lot of the vocal training. I had taken some lessons and everything and grown up but when I formally started with the one and only vocal coach I really had, he went to Berkeley, so his. Professor at Berkeley was, I think we spoke about this, was Steven Tyler's first.
Yeah.
Vocal coach.
Yeah.
So he taught me this. He says it's an actual technique, but.
What, going, yeah.
But you can, it's going through the consonants and vibrato, so.
Nice.
It's really important. I noticed lately I've been really scratchy.
You don't use ears.
Oh, I do now.
Oh, yeah. Ears saved my life, too.
Yeah. I had to start using the ears because of playing in a metal band called Overlord. I could not hear myself think on stage.
It's loud.
So it's so loud, and actually they work the best when I perform with Overlord. When they do it with the other bands, it's kind of...
Do you keep one in and one out?
I like them both in.
I keep one in and one out.
I know.
So I can still hear, people.
The stage.
Yeah.
Stage stuff and people. Yeah. I could care less about the audience.
you don't care about the
audience? I'm joking about that.
Just screw that.
I was just on a Facebook post about do we play music for ourselves or do we do it for the audience? And
well, are you trying to make money?
Yeah, I think
there's I
think there's a good balance.
Yeah. I played for the audience for 15 years, but I made a lot of money, so it's...
Yeah, it's...
Now I play for myself.
Yeah, you give the people what they want. I think I did it with a band I played in years ago. We were playing at the beach a lot. We didn't really play local gigs that much, but for some reason we just clicked at the beach. And it got to the point, I was like, guys, I'm sick of living on a prayer. I'm sick of singing,
still?
Don't Stop Believing.
It still goes over.
Both and Money for Nothing. We did the same third set every night.
Yeah.
So we were very... and then I just said, you know what, I want to start doing things for me. Yeah. And I paint and I write, so I look at music I don't paint and go, oh God, I want to sell $1 million. I want to make $1 million as a painter or writer. I just do it from the heart. So musically, I think it's the same.
There you go.
It works that way.
What was the most you've ever played? Like when I was with Jumper, we definitely played twice a week. But over the summer, it was like 4, 5, 6 times a week. So what was the most you've ever played?
It was about that.
Yeah.
During the summer, we would play. Man, we played so much to the point. The one guy made really good money as a contractor in Chester County. He rented a house at just a central location at the beach. There's nameless bands that are still on the circuit. There was a lot of wild stuff that went on at that house, and
I'm sure
there was like but we, it was probably 4 times a week. And then winter, because some of the guys had family, winter was like the come down. Yeah, it was like family time and everything.
We were just every Friday and Saturday. Didn't matter. Year round too. It was just.
Oh really?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jumper was a really big band. The band I was in, a lot of people are like, they're like, what band was that? We were called Rogue PHL, and I swear it was just down to the beach. When I was down there in July, I went to see, I forget the name, they're a Montgomery County band. And then I was at Keenan's seeing somebody. And I had people walk up to me and be like, whatever happened to that band? And I was just like, you still remember that?
People remember me. People remember. People still think I'm in Jumper. I've been out for 2 years.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, when's your next Jumper gig? I'm like, I've been out for 2 years. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like I fill in from time to time, so maybe they still think.
Yeah.
But like I've been.
Yeah.
I've been.
It's funny because there's a Rick Rubin quote, and the guy was. A fellow musician posted, a fellow local musician posted, and they were talking about Rick Rubin was like, you gotta play for you and write music for you and this and that. And like I said, I think original music's different than cover music.
Of course.
Cover music, there's certain, if you play at a venue down to the beach and you're playing a lot of obscure things, I don't even see you getting booked.
No, they won't hire. They won't hire you back.
Because they want you to. I tell a lot of bands, I was like, save that obscure stuff for later on.
Third set. You get one song.
Yeah, when everybody's
the best gigs, the best Jumper gigs, were the ones where there was no one there.
Yeah,
because we could play. We literally played, and we would have so much fun. That's when we start playing like Aerosmith or like Led Zeppelin, and there was no one there. And the workers at the bar were like, oh, this is great. You guys should do this all the time. Like, no, we can't because no one wants to hear Sweet Emotion. Like
that's one of the things we have with Fever Dog. We open up with the song Fever Dog, which unless you've seen Almost Famous, the film Almost Famous, you don't know the song Fever Dog.
I've seen Almost Famous like once, but I don't know the song.
Well, it's played by Stillwater, which is a fictional band, and we open with that, and then we go in the highway tuned by Greta Van Fleet, and then we play Mississippi Queen. Even the Greta Van Fleet song isn't that well known. So then
they played it on the radio.
Yeah, but it's the consumers, like the audience's attention span is very.
No, it's quick.
Yeah. So I get it's like, well, maybe we should do this, and maybe we should do that. So who knows? So what's going on with Remedy in the world of Remedy?
Nothing. We're on hiatus. No, I'm kidding. No, we're playing at the Arbor Music Hall the first week of January. That's our big gig, like for the year, basically. So it's quick one setter though.
Is it the same thing with like Pure Petty?
Pure Petty and Street Survivors.
Street Survivors.
Yeah, so Tom Petty and Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
Us. But so here's the beauty of that gig, right? So Rich books it. Rich and the band.
Yeah.
So because he books it, we get to go second when it's most crowded. And we have no right. Like literally, the Black Crowes has no right going second. It should be first. They should be the Black Crowes should be the opener. And every time we play with those two bands, we're always the opener, except for
except for there.
Only because Rich books it.
Okay.
So it's like, well, I booked it. We're gonna go second. I'm like,
okay. So imagine Leonard Skinner's not going first.
Skinner goes last. Petty goes first. In my opinion, I think Petty should always go last. For me, that's the closer. No offense to any Leonard Skinner fans.
Nope.
I like Leonard Skinner too, But for me, I grew up with Tom Petty. That's who I would go see.
I think Tom Petty's had a more lasting impression in career than Skinner with the original stuff. I think Skinner goes last sometimes because of the last song.
Skinner will never die.
Yeah.
I mean, Skinner's still out there, and there's nobody in Skinner.
No.
In Skinner, right?
It's a tribute band.
Is everyone gone at this point? Or is there one guy left? I don't even remember.
I mean, there's one living member, but the living member doesn't play in
the band.
Skinner. The drummer doesn't play.
There you go.
But the one guy, I think the one guitarist, I forget his name, Ricky, I forget his name. I know he's been in the band a long time, but he's not one of the...
It's just it's the Leonard Skinner experience now.
I've actually spoken to the guys in Street Survivors, and they talked about with my Stones tribute. It was funny because one of them was like, "Well, you guys would be the closer," and I was like,
technically,
I haven't really played the show yet, but I said
technically for the pecking order of bands, the Stones would be the closer. Yeah. However, the Street Survivors are probably better than Leonard Skinner at this point.
Ah, they're so seasoned.
Really good.
They're so seasoned. I mean, I think it's when they play at a place for free, and you go see them, you can see why they play as much as they do.
Yeah,
because they are immensely talented. I'm very biased towards them because of Peter is in the Overlord.
Oh yeah. He's flown with us.
He's
a good dude.
They're great, and they play the whole canon. They don't just stick to. Like I'm a Skinner. I grew up. My mom was a big Skinner fan, so
nice.
I know they're playing some of the songs, and I'll be like, "Whoa, I've never."
Pete went to Villanova, and I'm a huge Villanova fan, so we bonded over that. And he also was a big Opie and Anthony fan. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, I remember Opie.
And we bonded over.
Really?
Opie and Anthony. Yeah. When he filmed it with us, like last year.
That's funny because transitioning. I always thought O&A was better than Stern.
I will say yes. I always listen to them.
I thought
every day I listen to them. Every day I listen to them.
I thought they were. I thought they were great.
Yep.
I think Howard got kind of caught into being Howard.
Yep. But Howard's still doing it, and Opie and Anthony aren't. So there you go.
No, I think they're doing it because of their personalities with those two. Yep. But I was also a big. You remember Kid Chris?
Yeah.
I was a big Kid Chris fan.
He's still on the air, but just not here in Philly. He's somewhere else. I know where
he was in Ohio.
Yeah.
I had the honor of actually going into his studio a couple times to like appear. It was a segment, and it was funny. It was very offensive. I'm not going to bring it up.
Bring it up.
And then it was I had friends within the gay community in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So I called once because they were talking about how these men find each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I said there's certain places throughout the Philadelphia region that are well known. So I would go in there and give like an alert, and it was kind of like stay away from. And I'm not gonna say the place. One of them was one of the most biggest malls in America, a certain department store.
Neiman Marcus, King of Prussia Mall, Macy's.
Macy's or something. But it was so fun. But we called it trolling for colon. That's what they called it, and it was like. He was like, Thomas, whoever the producer, would call us, like, do you have any new places? And I was like, I'm not like hitting my friends up. And they're like, why are you asking me this? They're like, you're not gay, dude. Like, why do you keep asking
whatever
me?
bit works, man. Whatever bit works.
And then I joked with Chris. I was like, he's a big Beastie Boys fan. So am I. I saw him, like, the first tour until the last. I always wanted to do like a Beastie Boys tribute. Yeah. I love it.
I've never seen Beastie Boys. I wish I had, but
and I like how they kind of like the first album was so frat boy offensive. Yeah, and it worked in '87, of course. But as the years went by, it's like
they progressed.
Yeah, so they would say things like, they would like the way they would like stop at the line and be like, "I was gentle," like it was like cool. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's cool. O&A, I haven't heard that in a while.
Yep, I still listen to old O&A bits and
really?
pieces on like YouTube or whatever, just for the heck of it. Yeah, every day I listen to them every day.
I looked at Jimmy Norton stuff.
Jim Norton's still on
Yeah.
satellite radio. He's on every day still. Did you know Jim Norton married a trans person?
They were on. I think they were on. They might have been on Rogan.
Yes.
Talking about it.
Yes, they were on Rogan. Yes.
And then they might have been on.
And they have their own podcast too, actually. Too.
Okay.
Yeah, Nikki and Jim or Jim, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny with little Jimmy because if you listen to Jim Norton back in the day, he really he was kind of open about it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny
It is fun.
how that progresses. You know.
Yeah.
So, I wrote down. I was thinking of like music stuff. Yeah, we're big admirers of Aerosmith.
Yeah.
And Steven Tyler.
Of course.
My opinion, Steven Tyler is like the vocal god. I mean, I put Freddie Mercury's abilities a little above, and I think Elvis is the ultimate male vocalist. It's just because he sang everything and all over the place. But as much as I listen to Aerosmith, I love the later stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff from Permanent Vacation and Pump.
Mm-hmm. Pump's my favorite album. That's my favorite album.
I
don't care what anyone says. I'll go Pump and then like backwards, but Pump to me is my favorite. That's what not really what introduced me to Aerosmith, but that's what really got me into Aerosmith. Like I was already knew them or whatever, but that was to me that was like okay.
I think Pump's
and then Rocks for me, probably Pump.
Yeah,
and then Rocks. But.
I think Pump. Well, I mean, it's obvious. Pump was the one that got them back to the pinnacle.
Permanent Vacation did a little bit, but Pump definitely. Yeah.
But Pump got them. I mean, there was mega hits on there. The tour was.
Yeah. That's the first time I saw the Black Rose too.
Yeah,
they opened up for Aerosmith.
That was at the Spectrum. It was probably July or August of that year.
89 or 90. I don't remember.
Yep,
exactly.
It was 90.
It was 90.
I can tell you exactly because I know where I was living.
Yeah.
And I remember the Black Rose open for them, and I remember like hearing Chris Robinson's big mouth like a week later on like Stern or something trashing Aerosmith.
Of course.
And I was like, F this guy.
And
I never liked the Black Rose again
and then
until Remedy.
And then 30 years later, they kissed and made up.
Yep.
And they opened up for Aerosmith again.
I swear this is true. So, Alex from Remedy and I went to high school together.
Yes. Which I didn't realize till a couple weeks ago, but yes.
And then when I saw Alex again on Facebook, it said Remedy. He's in a band called Remedy. And I was like, oh, cool. And then it was like Black Rose Tribute. And I was like, Black Rose Tribute? I was like, Chris Robinson's of this and that and blah, 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 blah. But I saw you guys. I started listening to music more. And then I actually heard him being interviewed. And I was like, you know what? Everyone changes.
Who, Chris Robinson?
Yeah. He was just outspoken and young.
Yeah, it was stupid.
You know, the Drummer's Book. I don't know if you've ever read that book.
Oh yeah. Oh, the audiobook. So I like the audiobooks. I mean, I just listened to it in the car. Yeah. The audiobook was amazing. It's.
I mean, he doesn't hold back, and you know what? They were a young band.
Yeah. The brothers are toxic, though. I think they're still toxic. I think they still hate each other. We saw them, and Rich Robinson, the brother guitar player, just stands on stage like.
Yeah.
Doesn't smile for 90 minutes. He doesn't smile. It's just he's miserable. But whatever.
Really?
Yeah, he's miserable. He just stands up, doesn't crack a smile, nothing.
It's just so funny to me how these guys can be so miserable.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't get it.
I mean, you're doing what you love.
And then they only play for 90 minutes, so it's not like dude. I was pissed. I'll never see them again unless I know they're playing for more than 90. Literally. 90 minutes, and that includes the encore. That includes
the walk off stage talent off, getting a drink, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, to their defense, they only walk off stage for like 30 seconds or whatever.
Oh.
And then they end it with the cover, which I was pissed, because I don't mind if you end with a cover, but if you're only going to play for 90 minutes, play your own freaking song. I was pissed. It was 90 minutes to the second, almost to the second. Yeah, I was pissed.
Wow.
And it's not about the money, like, whatever, but it's just, you gotta, like, play for 2 hours, man. Like, 2 hours should be the minimum. 2 hours should be the minimum. Yeah. The Stones played for more than 2 hours,
Yeah,
They're literally twice their age. Or
They play
almost
for it's about 2 hours. And 10.
yeah. Bruce still plays for 3 hours. Aerosmith did pretty much
They played over till.
2 hours. I don't understand why Black Crowes did.
Okay, so Guns N' Roses is probably the same age as the Black Crowes, and they played well over almost 3.5.
I've never seen Guns.
On the current tour. Axl doesn't always sound the best every night. That's not easy music to sing.
No.
Because he's singing stuff like Coma.
Yeah.
He's singing stuff where he just, he's a lot older. He's gained more weight.
I wonder if they tuned down.
They probably do. I know one thing. I know Axl writes a set list. Because,
based on his vocals
Well,
ability
because
for the nights.
I heard Duff on an interview, and he's like, you have to have the singer write agree upon the first 5, 6, 7 songs. He's like, we can't open with Welcome to the Jungle. We never could, even when he was at the top of his game.
He needs warm up.
You're going to blow your voice out, but...
I'll tell you something. 15 years in Jumper, never made a set list.
Really?
We winged it every night. We called them out. We had singles. We would do singles. And we had chunks of songs, so we knew that if we started with this song, that we knew what the next 2 or 3 songs would be. We would, chunk them up. But yeah, it was never made a set. Never good. Sorry.
I've always been with the set list. My first band, I was 4 years younger than everyone. So I learned, and then it got to the point where they were like, well, what do you think? And work this in and everything. Of course, I was so young, and I could sing Robert Plant all
You
night.
do whatever you want, yeah.
But as I got into things, I was like, wait a second. I'm very diplomatic, with the set list, but I kind of feel like somebody needs to be like, okay, this is what we'll play at the gig in a month. What do you guys think? And then I feel
you guys do crazy shit. You're like, let's do the Black Album next month. And then the month after that, let's do, I'll just make something up. Let's do, Reload next. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Why don't you just stick with stuff you already learned last month?
Yeah.
Will?
Yeah. It's funny. I'll get back to my story, but I'm going to tell this. So, we were asked by Tom and Jerry's to actually do that album.
Oh, okay.
Because
That's right.
and I can say her name. Narissa will not mind me saying her name, because this happened. Narissa asked Dave Romani and I if Overlord would play that album. That's one of her favorite albums. In fact, I don't know if she said her favorite or one of them. And that night was a total success. Alex couldn't play the gig, and he told us 2-3 months before. And I had seen Street Survivors that January.
And that's when Pete filled it, right?
And Pete actually started playing stuff off the Black Album, just joking around with him.
Yeah.
And then when Alex was going to show up, I was like, I got someone.
Yeah.
I always know people to fill in. And,
You guys should do it again.
well, if someone would book it.
You should do it once a year. We do the Southern thing with the 2 other bands once a year, the first weekend of January. This is our 3rd or 4th year going. Just do it.
We would love. I know I would love to do it again. There's probably a band member or 2 that were like, "Oh, this is grueling," but
that's the Metallica album that introduced me to Metallica.
That's a Metallica album that introduced probably 90% of the world.
I knew the what's the song about?
You knew Fade to Black.
No, the one where the guy's
One.
legs.
One.
Yeah, one.
You knew
One.
the video.
That video. I knew, but
Yeah.
The
It's
Black
what the
Album.
world saw what Metallica looked like. It was like,
They look. I think they look better now as old men.
yeah.
They got their nice gray hair and they're all
Yeah.
clean-cut.
They also stopped partying.
Well, yeah, that's it.
It was like Metallica back then was called Alcoholica. You could get those shirts at the. I know they sold them in the parking lot.
Alcoholica.
Yeah, yeah. We would like to do the album again. Overlord's a fun project. Metal is not commercial anymore.
It's not
hard rock isn't. It's not easy to play. That's what I always say. As I can't play guitar or anything to save my life, but I watch the hard work that goes into that, and the way. I can look at music and be like, wow, look at that. That goes from there to there to there.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll happen.
So if because you mentioned Tom and Jerry's. If Tom and Jerry's ever shut down, and they're not shutting down, I'm just whatever. If Tom and Jerry's closed, something happened. Where would the Delco Music Hub move to?
I don't think anywhere in this area can replicate or come close to what's in those walls.
Probably not.
I think the memories, I think the things that are in the walls of that place. Doesn't matter if LeComp's playing or a band on a Wednesday night.
Right.
I feel like there's a certain atmosphere when you walk in there. And it's because it's a music venue.
Right.
It's advertised as a sports bar.
Right. But
It's
there's
really
not
a music venue.
it's not a sports bar.
No, that place, I mean, this afternoon, there's going to be 300 people there. It's
Yeah.
in James.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think musicians, it's the easiest place to play in the area because you carry your equipment in. Even if you wear ears like we do, you got everything set up within. You know.
But yet, that's not a place, besides LeComp, that's not a place where, like, mainstream cover bands play.
No.
Every once in a while. Like, Jameson is. Like, they
Yeah,
play.
you get the Jameson, the Giuliano
obviously,
Brothers.
LeComp, and the Giuliano Bros, too. But, like, there's a whole... Like, I never played there until Remedy. We never played there. 15 years we never played. And we never even thought to even, like, reach out for... I don't know why. Whatever. I never even knew the Delco music scene existed until I joined Remedy, and I'm like, look at all you people. This is nuts down here. Yeah.
I mean, there's places down in Delco, and you know, there's a lot of places to play that are restaurants. You're playing on the floor.
Yeah.
You're not.
There's nothing around here.
I love Westchester. Westchester used to have it. Westchester used to have
15 North.
Westchester had 15 North. Back in, I mean, I'm old. We had where Barnaby's is now. We had Rosie O'Grady's, which was a great room. It was just a room, and there was no stage, and they had like the rugs down, the Persian rugs, and you played. It was a beautiful. It was an atmosphere. The bar was back there. You know,
There used to be bands at Jitters. There's no bands at Jitters anymore.
I played at Jitters many a time.
There used to be bands at Kildare's downstairs. I've played there several times. There's no bands at Kildare's anymore.
No.
Margaritas is gone. You remember Margaritas?
Yes,
Margaritas is gone.
that had a great stage.
Yep.
Where Sidebar is now was Vincent's.
Oh yeah, the jazz.
And they had the jazz.
Yeah.
Al Stumpy Russell.
Yeah. We used to go to Vincent's once in a while. Once in a while, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the mafia actor guy? Little guy. I can't remember his name.
Joe Pesci?
Yeah, Joe Pesci played at Vincent's.
Really?
Once. Yeah. He had some sort of jazz band or whatever, and he showed up one night, and he played. Yeah, I wasn't there for that, but
That's funny.
Yeah. It's like it was Vincent's big claim to fame towards. I don't want to say towards the end, but it was
I knew he was a vocalist.
Yeah.
You know who else is a vocalist? Did you watch The Sopranos?
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Sachs.
Oh, really?
He sang with Chicago.
I didn't know that.
He toured with Chicago one summer.
Really? Jesus.
Yeah, Chicago is like, that's my like. So when I like run or work out, I put my phone a lot of times on like, just shuffle,
You put on Chicago?
and like I'll start crying if I think of the song. There's a Chicago song, and every time I hear it, I'm like, I gotta like run to the phone like. Reminds me of somebody that's near and dear to my heart.
There you go.
You know, from 7 years ago, and it's been off and on and stuff like that. It's weird how music does that to you.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, little sidetrack.
I'm only going to listen to Chicago when I'm in Chicago next week. I'm just going to load up my Spotify with Chicago.
Yeah. But I feel that a Tom and Jerry's at Delco, anywhere, there's venues that. This is not me throwing shade at anyone. There's venues I know that could pick up the slack, but would they? To me, it comes down to money.
Yeah.
You know, and as a musician, I like getting paid, but I'm secure. So, but I will, to get projects off the ground, I will make sacrifices just to get into places, me personally.
It's a little weird that Tom and Jerry doesn't charge cover.
Yeah.
Because they would make more money if they charged cover. Like
Yeah.
$5
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was like the
Yeah.
typical cover. I don't know, it's
That-
like $10 now, but
That was actually mentioned months ago on it's and the Bill Barr didn't set up this group, but it was I guess a Tom and Jerry's group or something, and it was very controversial. People, I'm not paying money and this and that,
how do you think the band gets paid?
And it shocked
The
me.
band gets paid partly by, like, if you're down the shore, we used to get pissed off, like, if we were playing, like, at the Princeton or Figure Mile or whatever. And, you know, we know what the cover charge was. Sometimes it was $10, $20.
Yeah.
Like, we'd be like, damn, we should have got the door tonight. We wouldn't have made triple what
Yeah.
they paid us. But anyway, that's how you pay the band, partly by the cover, depending on where you're at. So,
We used to do this at Jitters. We got to the point where we head counted. That was my responsibility. So as a singer,
Look, everyone stand
I'd be
still.
singing.
Stand still.
I'm singing Toys in the Attic. Toys, toys. 37, 30, in the attic. 39, 40, 41, 42. And Jitters is so small.
Yeah.
But it got to the point then they would say, do you guys want the door to pay? Or do you guys want that? And we have our person who looked like a bouncer.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be at the door getting the money.
Counting.
He'd be like,
Oh,
you
getting
can
the
check IDs, but if I collected, the band was going to do it. So I'm not adverse to paying a $5 cover charge.
Every place charges a cover except for Tom and Jerry's. I don't know another venue that doesn't charge cover. I'm trying to think of. I can't think of anything off the top of.
Yeah, I don't know.
Every place charges cover
I don't
when
know.
there's a band playing.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, around here, like I'm trying to get Fever Dog booked, so I've talked to like the venues around here, and a lot of them are restaurants. So it's kind of like I'm like, well, how do the pay and stuff like that? It's just getting in the door when you're new.
Of course.
You know,
Yeah.
I won't play at a place where they're like, can I see your set list beforehand and everything? It's like, dude, you're not a booking agent.
That was impossible for Jumper. We'd be like, we don't have a sell.
Yeah,
list.
I can give you the laundry list of songs we do.
Yeah.
And you could say, oh, I don't think that song's going to work here.
Yeah.
Or, can you guys not play heavy stuff? Which I feel like in the beginning of the night at a place that's a restaurant, if they want you to go on at 8 o'clock or 8:30, I'm not going to play Inner Sandman.
They want you to be chill at first.
Yeah, play that funky music or something. Or Superstition,
Ease into
Ziggy
it.
Stardust, maybe.
We never got. The only time maybe once in a while, we were told don't play rap
Okay.
for whatever reason, depending on whatever club we were at. But
Yeah.
that was few and far between. Yeah.
Did you guys play hip hop?
Yeah.
Rap?
Oh my god, yeah.
Really?
Tons. Yeah, tons. Lots. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think the only.
And that would be the stuff that would go over the best, and we'd be like, "Are you sure?" Because that's the stuff that goes over the best. I'd be like, "Yeah, no."
I've done like Fight for Your Right to Party, No Sleep Till Brooklyn. I've done Walk This Way where I had to do the Steven part, and the bass player and the guitarist just totally blotched the rap part where I'm like, all right, guys, you have to
So we would do like Jay-Z and like P Diddy and like shit
Wow.
like that. Yeah, like we would do. Yeah, we had a couple rap medleys,
Wow.
and then but the stuff would go over.
Yeah, it goes over. I mean, Former Strangers plays. Shout out to Billy Bostic and the gal and guys, but they do like I know their middle. Usually the second set's a lot of dance music, and they do like Flo Rida. And,
Yes,
stuff
we
like
used
that.
to do Flo Rida.
The
Yeah.
apple bottom jeans.
Yeah.
And you spin me round, round,
Yeah.
round. You know. It's
That,
funny.
that stuff it goes over. So
A lot of the venues I see, like I've heard, I mean, I know some in this area. It's a set list, and it's don't do this, don't do that. You know, I'm just like, what's gonna work?
yeah.
You know, you can't do you can't hear American Girl every Friday and Saturday night.
And that's why we wouldn't make sets. We would see sort of what was working, and then sort of like,
I feel like they're
leaving it out of songs there.
the thing that's gonna work. I think the next thing coming around is a lot of people are like, I hear pushback against it, but I think the tribute band thing. Because a lot of these bands are too old.
Yeah.
To me.
To me, a tribute band. There's too many tribute bands now. I think
I think they're
because it's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. If it's gonna last.
Yeah.
I get where you're saying, like Leonard Skinner's gone, basically,
Yeah.
like Aerosmith's gone at this
Yeah.
point, so we only have tributes of them at this point, which I would go see, an Aerosmith.
Yeah, that's so hard.
But you can't have an Aerosmith tribute play in the same area, like year round, because like a cover band's a little different because you're changing songs up every night and you're gonna do. But you can't have the Aerosmith tribute band play 20 times a year in a 100-mile radius of like Delco because you're playing essentially the same songs.
Yeah, you're
like,
playing the same,
and it's just hard. Cover band's different. It's you're switching it up. You're whatever. So.
I was always fascinated by the tribute thing. I've been wanting to do it for a handful of years, and I did. I was in the infancy stage of a Guns N' Roses one. I was in the infancy stage of a Pearl Jam one.
Nice.
Then I was asked to start a Zeppelin one, which I said no because I'm friends with the two in this area. I'm friends with Flying Circus and Super Unleaded, and I'm like, why? I'm like, there's no need
for that. Fourth or fifth or sixth.
And then I did like a U2 one, which I really liked, but I love Mysterious Ways. I think they're a great tribute.
Oh, they are.
Mark and Ryan, I just sold this as a Tom and Jerry's and had a great hour talking to them. And so now, it's funny, it's probably one of the biggest bands that do tributes. But now with the Rocks Off at the Stones tribute, we haven't gotten out there, but when we do get it all together, which will hopefully be by early 2025 to start getting booked, people are going to be like, oh, this is a little different. It's because it's going to sound different. It's the 70s.
Yeah.
We're not going to have a female backup singer. We're not going to have all these people on stage. It's the 70s Stones. It's the Stones that people grew up
on.
It's the hot rock Stones. It's
Yeah.
the Let It Bleed.
Yeah.
It's going to be dirty and grungy.
Nice.
I don't look like Mick Jagger. I'm losing weight as we speak. But like, I'm not asking people to wear wigs or scarves in their hair. The music's got to sound good.
Yeah.
And there's great tributes out there that the people look like it. Well, there's a few that the people can look like it.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
But to me, the music has to come first.
Yeah.
When I go see Beatles, I think the best Beatles tributes I've seen are the ones that sound like it.
Mm-hmm.
And you need like 8 people
Yep.
on that stage to do it right.
Yeah.
The Beatles.
I would see. I need to see a Weird Al tribute. I really want to see a Weird Al tribute. I think it'd be awesome. I've always said that for years, even before tribute band thing got hot. I'm like, man, there really needs to be a guy that just goes around. He can just have tracks, just play freaking tracks, throw on a wig, and sing Weird Al. I'll do it. Like seriously, I think it'd be the coolest thing ever. I think it'd be so much fun.
Just start YouTube videos.
Weird Al tribute, man.
Doing it.
Yep.
I have another tribute that there's a very good friend of mine, and I'm not going to say the band. I'll tell you when we're off air because someone's going to steal it. But it's primarily an 80s act that nobody would ever think of this. But when you look at the canon of hits for 5 years, it's just... And it's someone very appealing. And I've said it to others, we're kind of like, shh.
Yeah, don't.
Because everyone else is involved in stuff, and it's like, if
Yeah.
everyone at the same time on this would say, let's just get together and play like 6 of the bigger songs.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I think with music, this is to the fans, musicians out there that go see bands. You got to give the guys a break and girls in the bands because there's a lot going into it. There's a lot of practice time, even before rehearsal.
Of course.
And putting your heart and soul into it. Not everyone's going to sound like Mozart.
No.
If they're not. I go to support my friends. I go to support my friends who support me. I'm outspoken on Facebook about this. I don't always sit there and go like, man, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Because I know sometimes I've had off nights.
Of course. Everyone.
And it happens.
Yeah.
And you just, but I like going to see bands that do something different. That's like today. I can't go see Jameson, but I'd go see Jameson every week.
Yeah.
Because I like the next stop.
They're
They
cool
just-
band.
they just
it's
keep-
something different too.
Yeah,
It's
Alice is amazing. It's great to have
Yeah.
a fiddle player up there.
Yeah.
So if Overlord ever gets together again to play the Black Album, Alice, I will be asking her to play violin on a couple songs.
There you
You know,
go. I think you guys should do it.
Yeah.
You guys should book it.
so we could
You
do
guys should
that.
book it.
But I was going to say something about the Aerosmith ballads because we were talking about
Crazy Crying, amazing. That was the next album, but
So you listen to all those ballads,
Yeah.
but you know, you see me crying.
that's a whole little off the
Yeah, Dream On,
Yeah.
Home Tonight.
Yeah.
Even Seasons of Wither is kind of
Yeah.
a weird ballad. But when people diss the later material, if you put all that production in those songs,
Yeah, sure.
it would sound the same.
Yeah.
It's just those songs were so. I mean, they were heavily produced. It's because
Of course.
it's 20 years later.
Yeah.
You
Crazy
know?
Crying and Amazing
Oh, I think
should not have been 3 songs on that same album. They should have saved one for the
Yeah.
next album because it was like a little overkill. But
Yeah.
the Alicia Silverstone, or Alicia Silverstein, sorry,
trilogy.
Alicia Silverstein trilogy. Like, who is it? That's before she was famous, or she was like just getting.
Yeah. Amazing is a very personal song to me because of why Steven wrote that. Because of his drug addiction, his being clean on top of the world, and then you have, I mean, he's probably relapsed over a handful of times and been very, he's spoken about
They're
it.
relapsing right now.
Yeah. But it's like,
That's probably why he's not singing.
as somebody who I've, thank God, it's almost over 5 years with serious drug addiction. That song is one of the ones, when I was in treatment, I had them print me those lyrics. Those lyrics always spoke to me. And amazing. And it's so true. Yeah, there's a lot of 12-step speak in those lyrics, too. He
Really?
cribbed some stuff off the...
We'll get into this
Yeah.
at a later podcast,
Yeah.
but I just
Yeah.
one question: how long were you in treatment for?
5.5 months.
Holy crap, that's a long time.
Let me tell you something.
So you did. Wait, so you just you didn't
I
work for
did-
5.5 months.
No.
You just took. You were just.
I
out.
did. I mean, I'll give it because we can actually do a whole podcast about.
That's what I'm saying. We'll
Really
do
cool.
that the next.
But I will say this: I had used off and on since I was a teen, and marijuana was not my gateway drug. My gateway drug was cocaine.
But that's the drug.
Yeah, but I did a little.
That's the.
I dabbled a little.
That's the
heavier.
destination.
But yeah, and it was off and on. But when I would use to the point of I was functioning, but then it got horrible at the end. Like absolutely, like I'm gonna spend all my money. I don't want to live anymore. Just throw it all away.
Yeah.
Literally throw it all away because I wasn't getting the help for this. I wasn't getting the psychiatric help, and
So for 5.5 months, you went to a facility.
so literally for it was.
What do you do?
It was almost 4, and then I had out treatment. So I was in patient treatment for like 4.5.
So when you're there, you watch TV? No, you didn't have TV. There's like, what do you do?
Oh, they have
every day?
TV, but
Like, what do you do?
I was in 2 places. You go to groups. I was very fortunate. The one that I went to, I got in like a special group. It was they only let 12 people in it, and you had to have problems other than everybody who goes to treatment now has PTSD and mental health issues. Do they or do they not? I'm not intake. I think it's an insurance issue, but anyway. But then they took you aside and they said, okay, this person's diagnosed this. They have like diagnosed PTSD. So I went to a group where it was pretty hardcore. It was pretty hardcore. And then you go to like the 12-step types groups and the counseling groups and private counseling. The first place I went to was co-ed. That's a big distraction. And you know what? No offense, ladies, but I am not hooking up with a woman in rehab. That's the last person I want to
I thought that they didn't do that.
Oh, well, that's when you get out. That's if you go to a 12-step group
Oh,
and
that's
you're
right.
new. They say, don't be in a relationship and all this.
Yeah,
I mean, you get thrown out when you're in treatment
Yeah.
if you get caught hooking up. But it's a lot of groups. And I stuck with the winners, and I hate saying that. There's some people that are just there because it's cold out. Or
they're there because
they're homeless.
Or they have to check a box to not go to jail.
Or because it's hard to get in a mental institution now, so they go to treatment. And I kind of stuck with a certain group of people that worked for me. You know what I mean? And
Right.
the second place I went to, because they transferred me because I was getting sick of the first place because of the social aspect of it. I wanted to get clean.
Yeah.
The second place was pretty hardcore. They separated the men and the women.
Right.
And it was... I had a really cool roommate. I never kept in touch with him, but him and this guy would drink a gallon of vodka a day at least. And it was at like $4.37 vodka.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, you think of that. You're a hardcore drinker. If you're drinking, if you can break the bottle, if you can't break the bottle over my head, then that would not be worth drinking to me.
It was the plastic gallon bottle.
Yeah, he said he would literally wait in line in North Philly. There they go. There's the kids.
I got my TikTok package is here for some reason. They texted it. They'll just drop it through. It's fine.
But nah, he was pretty hardcore, and him and I would spend a lot of time just talking in our room and reading like the literature and kind of like relating. I've had a few slips that's been documented since then. I will never go back to that hell. And we could have a whole...
Well, that'll be different.
we could have a whole podcast because I think it's
I can never really drink back-to-back days. Like even when I was like in college, like I couldn't. I'm like, I don't know. Just
really,
I can drink beer. Like I drink beer all day.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I drank beer all day. I was cooking. It was Thanksgiving. I drank beer all day, all night. Okay. But today, I'm like, I'm not. I don't even want to smell beer. And I wasn't drunk. It was I'm sure.
Yeah, you were just.
It was just a gradual day. Whatever. But I'm sluggish today. I'm wearing sweatpants. Like I didn't even get dressed yet. I'm like, Will's coming over. I gotta get on.
I gotta get all the stuff for him.
Yeah, I just can't. And now I'm going away. I got to go to a work meeting, and typically we drink at work meetings. But this is a little different, so maybe I won't drink much at the work.
Okay.
It's a different kind of work meeting, so maybe.
Is this in Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah.
Do you have the deep dish pizza when you go there?
I've had deep dish pizza. It's not my favorite. I've gotten it. There's a place in Chicago I love. It's called Molly's Cupcakes. Mm-hmm. And most people who know me know I always go there. And my hotel happens to be like literally within walking distance of Molly's Cupcakes. So I will every day. This is weird. The older I get, I'd rather have a root beer or a soda over a beer. If someone's like, "Do you want a soda or a beer?" I'm like, "I want a soda." Yeah. Which is weird. I don't know why. And sugar's probably worse for you than alcohol, at least for me.
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to have sugar, but I would rather have sugar than alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah. So a cupcake over, a gummy, like whatever. Like, I'm going to Molly's Cupcakes 5 times next week. I'm going to go 5 times, and my boss is going to be like, "What? You're crazy." I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, really? You go there? You go there every day?
I'll go every day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's one thing. Have you ever heard of the Ron and Fez show?
Oh yeah.
So Ron Bennington, who's still on the air, I still listen to him every day. Mm-hmm. He has a cupcake at Molly's Cupcakes called the Ron Bennington Cupcake, and it's phenomenal. It's like a Reese cupcake. It's phenomenal.
Did you ever go to the place on High Street?
No.
At Deladoux, I think it's called It's on High Street. It's great.
I'll check it out. I don't like cupcakes.
Oh, okay.
But I like the Ron Bennington cupcake. Like I don't like cake. But the Ron Bennington, I'll get it.
I can't eat sugar. I absolutely, if there's, like if someone goes to like Giant and they, it's a party at someone's house and they have those like 8 packs and 6 packs of cupcakes.
I'll have like half one.
If I eat one, I will literally, I could eat all 6. I make candy.
I can have a bite and be like, I'm done.
Quite an addiction to, I have many addictions.
Candy I like. Like Twizzler. What's your favorite candy?
Oh, it's a Reese's cup.
Reese's Cups. So Reese's is up different. Have you had the at Wawa? What are they called? It's a totally vegan, and I'm not vegan or anything, but it's sugar free, and it tastes. I'm telling you, it tastes just like a Reese's Cup. They even package it. They even package it like a Reese's Cup. It's orange package. It's phenomenal.
I'll get one of those.
Phenomenal taste. They're more expensive than like the 2-pack of that is more expensive than the 4-pack of the Reese's Cup, but it's really good. I forget what it's called.
What's your favorite candy?
Twizzlers would be one, red licorice, and then like Reese's Cups pretty close behind.
Okay.
I will do, but I'll do a Snickers bar or like I don't know, and then I'll do peanut. I used to hate peanuts. Now that I'm old, peanut M&Ms. I'm like, I'm going to peanut M&Ms. I think when you get old, like old people like peanuts. I don't know, like I never ate peanuts. Now I'm like, give me some peanuts.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You can't beat peanuts though at the baseball game.
No.
I always have to get get that. What do you think the Phils are going to do with free agency?
Such disappointment. I think. All right. There's. I'm trying to keep this to like an hour, but
okay. Where are we at?
If we're rolling, we'll keep.
We should keep it an hour.
We're at 51, though.
Okay.
I've lost my train of thought. Boom. Third baseman Boom, and Joel Embiid. I know it's weird. One's basketball, and one's baseball. Their attitudes suck, and I think Jason Bourne. No, Alex Bohm has got to go. His attitude sucks.
He's not that bad of an attitude. See, I'm not.
He's just. I don't like his attitude. He has to go. Nick Castellanos. Everyone's been saying he might get traded. He is a good player. He had a great second half of the year. I don't like his demeanor or attitude either, and I'm fine if he goes.
Oh, okay.
And he's a lot of money. So if they free him up, they could sign somebody pretty good. So, but we'll see. But anyway, Joel Embiid, dude, I know people will defend him till the cows come home. But I'm telling you, I've seen even in the Olympics this past year, he's like just lollygagging up and down the court. I know he's hurt, but you can't be hurt for 5 years in a row, dude. Like I don't know if he's not stretching right. I don't know. Is he not doing his off season work? I don't know.
Here's the deal.
He seems lazy to me. I know he's not lazy, but he seems lazy to me. I know he's not, but he seems lazy.
I think he is. I think Joel Embiid. I don't think this. I know this. He's the most talented NBA big man of all time. Talent-wise, not the best. But he's got more skill. I mean, Kareem or Shaq weren't shooting from 25 feet out.
I get you there.
And still can post people up.
Yeah.
But Joel Embiid in the Olympics, he was on that team with 3 guys that are still.
Yeah.
I mean, guys who are 15 years or
older
more.
than him.
LeBron, Steph.
Yeah.
And KD.
Yeah.
They're still in the top 12 basketball. This year, they're in the top 10.
Yeah.
Those 3 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to play that way around.
They hustle.
You're not going to play that way around that.
He just drags his feet down the court.
There's no way LeBron didn't get in his ear. There's no way in the world. Or even KD. There's no way. And it showed in the Olympics.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it really did. I mean, he gets happy when he scores 50 on Jokic. And it's like, but Jokic got rings?
Yeah, of course.
And he's, he makes everyone around him better.
Good, yeah.
I don't think Jokic is anywhere close to the player.
Will Sixers have 3 wins right now? 2 wins or 3 wins? Sixers 3-11.
I think they
2-11. 2-11.
My mom was saying
they're
yesterday.
not even fun to watch.
My mom will probably never listen to this, but she'll be like, why do you say that? But my mom yesterday goes, some of those players are bad. I go, yeah, they have good stats because the team's horrible.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, that rookie McClain, he's got to play hard.
Yeah, because he's the only one who's not hurt right now.
Yeah.
Hurt.
I'm a Knicks fan. I do not like the way the Knicks look. And I'll be watching them this afternoon. I'm taping the game. They're playing Charlotte. But I didn't want Karl Anthony Towns.
Wait, then Brooklyn has all the Villanova guys, right?
No, it was us.
It wasn't.
Knicks.
You had like 3 or 4 Villanova guys from the national championship.
We had
I'm a big
Brunson, Hart.
Yeah.
And DiVincenzo. And then we got Bridges. And then they trade DiVincenzo
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Randall, who I love Randall too. They trade him to Minnesota to get. So I know time's getting short.
If we
But
can- I mean,
I'll
it's
tell you
fine.
something. I'll tell you something funny. So I am not a Villanova fan. I'm a big. I always wore my UNC hoodie today. So I worked for. I've always like either driven a truck or done warehouse management.
Yeah.
So when Nova beat the Tar Heels, I was working for a local company, and I had to drop off at Villanova a lot. So after they won the championship, I guess Jay Wright got something for the staff and the players printed, and I was delivering that, and he actually came out. And he was like, "Oh wow, the shirts or whatever they were, or this and that." And his assistant was all like happy, and she's like, "Are you a big Nova fan?" I'm like, "No, you guys broke my heart with that game."
Jay Wright is the epitome of classmate. He's the classiest dude.
He's a smart dude too. He
Classiest
doesn't want
dude
pro.
around, man.
Why go pro?
No, he's like, I'm retired. I'm done.
Yeah,
But now,
Yeah.
pretty much on top for the most part.
yeah.
But
I mean, I love that he didn't. I mean, he got offers from Brooklyn. He got offers from the Sixers.
Sixers, yeah.
Why does he need to do it? He's got enough money.
Yep.
He doesn't need to travel. I know he's got. I think he's got kids. I don't know. My friend coached his daughter in AAU or something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
But
And he still lives here.
yeah,
He still helps the Villanova basketball. He was a coach, but he's
Yeah.
his presence is there. It's there.
Yeah.
Too bad they suck, but
yeah. Oh yeah, they're like.
thank God I have the Eagles because like the Phillies disappointed me. At least the Eagles are on a bit of a roll, but Villanova sucks. The Sixers suck. I don't really watch hockey anymore.
Oh, I love hockey.
I do got Tennessee, so that's
Okay.
this is my nightmare. Tennessee versus Penn State in the playoff. It could happen. I don't know what I will do. If that happens, I'll be screwed. But
Okay.
yeah.
So you follow college football?
I follow Penn State,
Okay.
and I now follow Tennessee.
So you
because-
follow Penn State, and when they
Yeah.
face a top 15 team, you expect them to lose.
I mean,
That's what happens every
I
year.
think they beat one top 15 team this season.
Yeah.
Who might not be in the top 15 anymore.
So my team's
They
big.
can't beat Ohio State.
My team's big rivalry games tomorrow. I'm a Southern California fan.
Oh, who
And
are they playing?
They play Notre Dame tomorrow.
Oh, okay. And Notre Dame's pretty good this year.
I think they're number 6.
Yeah.
You know.
Penn State's 4. Penn State's 4, I think, still.
Yeah. I love college
Tennessee's-
sports.
Tennessee's 7th or 8th, I forget. I'm 8th or 9th. Yeah.
You know, it's funny with these playoffs because of the SEC. If you look at the SEC, you could have 6 teams.
Oh my god, yeah.
And some of them have 3, 4. I mean,
Yep.
they were talking about Alabama or Georgia not making it. Like, you got to be kidding me. That's top 12 team. I mean, they're better than Indiana.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll see. There's still a week left. A couple weeks left. So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, you can't go by records.
No.
Or anything like that.
It'll be fun.
So.
What do you have on your sheet? You got a couple?
I was just I don't know. This morning I saw. So, I've been listening to the podcast for so how long has Rogan been around?
Forever.
I was a fan of Rogan on News Radio.
Yeah.
I really couldn't. I would watch Fear Factor,
Hmm.
but I'm a very queasy. I don't like reptiles or worms or people getting sick.
Right.
But I always liked Joe's humor.
Right.
I love this comedy. I'm a big fan of like the Joe Rogan network of comedians,
Yeah.
the offensive.
Yeah.
You know,
Joe Rogan was a spin-off of Opie and Anthony because he used to go on Opie
Yeah.
and Anthony like
Yeah,
all the time.
his-
And he credits them like
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. But yeah.
So I actually, when I was traveling once, got to like bump into him, kind
Nice.
of like during the pod. It was when the podcast was really, super nice guy. It was kind of like a 30-second exchange.
Sure.
And, but it's this whole. I love how Joe, like, they'll come at him about COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be like Neil Young. And he was like, wait a second, I'm a fan of Neil Young. He never tells his fans to turn on somebody.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Never does.
Never,
that.
yeah.
Never does. And then because of the election, he had people on, and then he's been called right wing for the last few years, which I've listened to him from the beginning. He's about the furthest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
He's a Bernie. He likes Bernie.
Oh yeah.
He's
So do I.
He's sad. Yeah.
Like I get I grew up politically very liberal, and Bill Clinton was like a dream. It was like great. I remember I was like in my early 20s. All my friends were graduating from college. We were all making a lot of money. My dad's business was successful.
Sure.
People were happy.
Yeah.
I fell out of favor with politics in the early 2000s, and then has nothing to do with anything with being a Democrat. But then I saw the idol worship. The first time I saw the Obama shirt, the Hope. I'm like, wait a second. This is the president.
Mm-hmm.
And it was exciting because it was something new. It was something fresh.
Right.
I just can't see why we, these people are, put on a pedestal. It is the most important, figurehead in the world.
In the world, yeah, sure, yeah.
But I feel like Congress is the people really getting the stuff done.
Right.
And I know this is getting off from what I'm clicking.
You're fine,
Here.
You're good.
But it's the venom.
Yes.
I comment on some of your stuff, and it's all joking. And I comment on people's things because I feel like we can have a give and take. Then I don't take anything personal. What I did take personal was I was called a misogynist, a sexist, and a racist because I voted for Donald Trump. I never voted for a Republican before that,
Right.
except local politics because I live in Chester County and I live in Westchester, and
Right.
it's a beautiful place to live. That's who's always been in power.
Yeah.
So. And I get why do people take it so personal? And I understand the things that he's either been, this politician's been convicted.
Criminally charged, yeah.
Or they haven't.
Right.
Because if we're going to talk about people's dirt,
Right.
it's all over the place.
Everybody's dirt, yeah.
And what really offended me with this election was when people started attacking Kamala.
Right.
Kamala. It really did. As a man, I might not agree with her politics, but leave her alone.
Yeah.
Seriously. And stop making fun of Nancy Pelosi's boobs or anything like that. Or, Marjorie Taylor, she gets herself in trouble by opening a big mouth.
She does.
But it's one of the things is, I feel like a lot of it is done when people go on social media and start a brand. They do it for clicks.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote down clicks.
Mm-hmm.
It's The View with Joy Behar attacking Rogan about the dragon thing.
I don't know that, but okay.
Well, she said, why would people listen to him for news?
Oh, okay.
He believes dragons are real.
Okay. Well, technically, there is a. Anyway, we're not gonna get that. But yeah.
Yeah, there is a dragon,
Whatever.
but he believes this and that, and he played. From yesterday's podcast, he played the clip where he said, "Wouldn't it be cool if they were really real?"
Wouldn't it be cool if they were really real?
But he says,
Not they.
we don't know the way it was back in prehistoric times. We really don't. Some people believe in the Bible, say there's dinosaurs in the Bible, in the Book of Job, and et cetera, et cetera. And, technically, a shark is a dinosaur.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of people do the clickbait.
Of course.
And around the election, it was the venom that I saw, where it's somebody who's known me for years might be shocked if it seems like they're like, oh wow, Will's really going a little to the right. But it doesn't mean why the personal attacks?
Right.
And that's what gets me. And I feel like I know this for a fact. I feel like there's a lot of people making money on YouTube or TikTok or etc.
But there's a whole industry that was built around this election and the election before it. There's a whole podcast world. There's a whole there's independent journalists who just literally make a living now off of the past two elections. It's crazy. Which good for them. They figured something out. So that's fine. I got no problem with that. But yeah.
But it's you can't. But my whole thing is you can't change your mind. You're making so much money being a left-wing extremist or right-wing experiences. You're never. That kind of pigeonholes people when it becomes monetary.
Yeah.
And I feel like The View when she attacked Joe, it's like.
Well, she knows her audience, right? So and Joe knows his audience. So here's my problem with Joe Rogan. Is that I used to listen to him quite a bit, and I still do listen to him if there's somebody on who I want to hear. Mm-hmm. I don't listen to all of them, but if there's somebody on who I'm I'll listen. My problem with Joe Rogan is this. Let's say He had some, like, I'll just use this as a general example. So back when COVID was like, raging,
Okay.
he would have somebody on, and they'd say, we gotta wear a mask and blah blah blah, and Joe would be like, oh yeah, definitely, and da, 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 da. And Joe would like agree with them, and then 2 weeks later he would have somebody else on. Masks don't work. Oh yeah, I know masks. Like, he is so easily manipulated. He will believe the person who's on with him at that time. He will believe. That's what I don't like about Joe. And I've heard him flip-flop, not flip-flop, but agree with two sides. And I just use COVID as the easy thing, like to their pill. So that's what pisses me off. It's just like, people don't realize there's no element out there that is good for 100% of the people. There isn't. Anyway,
but it also does that
that's my tangent.
Our bodies respond differently.
Yeah.
To everything. I mean, there's things. Okay. At 55, there's things that I would put in my body now that would, like, I wouldn't be able to, like, walk or anything. Like, you know what I mean? Or even medicine.
Yeah.
Like, medicine. Like, I have high blood pressure, so I can't take certain cold medication. But
Right.
if I took it,
Right.
it might react to me.
I finally hit an old man milestone.
What's that?
I had to take cholesterol meds. I've never taken any medication for anything. Nothing. I would take a multivitamin and like that. That'd be it. But now I have to. But I forget to take them half the time. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. I said give me the lowest dose possible. So I think I got like 10 milligrams. So I'm supposed to take it, one every night before I go to bed. But half the time I forget because I'm tired. I'm trying to sleep. But anyway, that's my old man milestone.
That's funny. I've been taking blood pressure medication it runs in my family. So, it's...
I'm not going to name names. I had a relative who we thought had a stroke, and that person had to go into the hospital, and they did all these tests, and then they're like, your blood pressure spiked. Are you taking your blood pressure medication? And they're like, no. And they're like, well, your symptoms mask as a stroke because you can't see and you fall and you're bumping into stuff, and they're like, you need to take your blood pressure medication or else you will have a stroke. You will have an actual stroke. So I'm like, let's take it.
Jeez.
Masked as a stroke because that's...
The whole thing around COVID, people get so... I still see people with masks, and I get really pissed at other people. I've seen people in public go at the person.
I got no problem with masks. People want to wear masks.
I don't either, and they go, oh, this doesn't work, and I'm like, listen, like my father's terminally ill. My mom sometimes wears a mask at the grocery store.
Because she doesn't want to get him sick.
My mother.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to get
sick. She doesn't
sick.
want to catch a cold and bring it home. And
I don't need your effing signs at my 75-year-old mother who just loves her husband and wants to make sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
The
whole thing is like, live and let live.
Yeah.
And if you disagree with that and you hear someone, then have a civil
conversation
discussion with them. I've read the Fauci book and everything by Kennedy. I look at some of it. I'm not a scientist or anything, so I got to take his word. Like I got to take my doctor's word,
right? Of course,
and everything like that. We could go on a whole tangent.
We'll save it for next time. So we're at 1:10.
All right.
So this is what we'll do. So it's Thanksgiving. It's Black Friday. It's Thanksgiving. The day of Thanksgiving.
When Black Friday comes.
So what we'll do is we'll release it this upcoming week.
All right.
I'll be in Chicago, but it'll go out to the world, and then we'll try to do a weekly thing.
Yeah. Got to come up with a name.
We could do it come up with a name.
2 frontmen.
Will and Nick's happy hour. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But
yeah.
The first one will just be Will and Nick or whatever. But whatever.
And before we go off,
yes.
Let me say this.
Go, Will.
Watch the Beatles documentary 64.
It's on Disney.
It's called Beatles 64. It's on Disney. I've watched half of it. There's so many Beatles documentaries, but this is just about them coming to America.
Okay.
Is
it a TV show or is it just one?
Yeah,
it's
just a one. I think it's an hour and 30 some minutes.
So it's a movie.
Absolutely fascinating. Mark Scorsese directed it. That would be my recommendation this week. And I'm also going to say this podcast has been in the work for months. So we're not doing this because there's other singers doing them.
I've always liked the podcast idea, so
I do too.
It's fun, and we're going to do our thing, man.
I know, it'll be fun.
And it's going to be awesome.
It'll be fun.
This
All
part.
right, brother.
All right, we'll turn it off.
Thank you,
We'll
guys.
see you next week.
Yep.